Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. I'm recording this at the gym. I'm going to finish the videos on astrology here within the next couple of days. I took a break because I had a very busy weekend with clients and I had a lot of clients this morning. I did want to do this video on a subject that people ask me all the time, and I think it's an important one that needs to be talked about. There are, people see me doing readings all the time, and they see me doing divination, they see me flipping cards, and they see me making connections very fast. And one of the things people always ask me is, how do you do this stuff very quickly, very fast? And another thing people ask me is, how do I do things without cards? Because that's another thing people see me do all the time. I'll do things without cards, without tools and stuff like that. First of all, I would like to make it very clear that I've said before, I'm on the Tibetan Bond path. I am not a master. I am not a Tibetan Bond master. I am only a student. And the thing about being a student is you don't have to have it all figured out. You get to keep growing, you get to keep learning. But there's two things I would like to say about developing divination ability. The reason I got so fast and how I got so fast is that for 20 years there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't practice and work with divination or some other force, trance channeling, divination, various kinds of divination. I spent a good time when I was living back in Illinois, completely learning new systems, and then every time I went to do an event, I would do that system. So every time I came back to the event, I'd be doing something else. One time I'd be scrying, then I'd use crystal balls, I'd use scry and water, I would do palms. I spent a lot of time practicing and studying every single day. That's how I developed. Another thing is, when I started on the Tibetan Bond path, I asked His Holiness Padma-Gapa Rinpoche, I said, I want to be able to read without cards. I want to be able to be psychic without having to use a tool. And when people ask me, I always go, well, I don't quite know how it happened. I was on this path and then it developed. Well, the reason is this. There's something in Tibetan Bond called ripening of empowerments and teachings. We get empowered in Tibetan Bond for specific abilities. We get teachings and we spend our time in practice, and at certain points those teachings, those abilities ripen, and when they do, you have what we call siddhis, which is the ability to do something. So that ability developed from getting empowerments, from doing the practices and practicing every day. And that's not something people like to hear. They like to hear that it happened in a weekend, it was fast, it cost no money, it cost no time, and and then you're instantly a master. There's another thing I'd like to say that happens in this business. There are people out there who set up themselves as experts, and then they will take other people's work who do practice, they will pass it off on their own, and they will set themselves up as masters. There are also a lot of people in this field who ask people to come speak at their events or who interview them, and then when the person who's done all the work does the talk, or they interview the person, they take that person's stuff and they pass it off as their own, and then they pass it off, and then they have classes in it. So someone will do all the work to learn this stuff, and then someone will say, hey, will you come and speak at my event? They come and speak, they steal the person's stuff, and then they set themselves up as the expert, and they charge people for classes. So you have to watch out for all of these things. There were no shortcuts. I practice every single day. Ripening empowerments and teachings from getting empowerments in the Bond lineage. The Bond magic is very powerful stuff and is available to anyone who chooses to go down the path, study, and get the empowerments and do the work. And practicing every day, every day, every day. It's not about shortcuts. It's not about getting a weekend certification. It's not about pulling out a piece of paper and saying, look, I was certified, I can do it. Can you do it? Have you put in the time? Have you put in the effort? Have you put in the practice? I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do.